Is Pink Floyd's powerful masterpiece Hey You really in E minor? So Pink Floyd has a masterpiece called Hey You from the 1979 Wall album, and it's got a haunting and very melodic intro. If you look at most chord sites, they'll just tell you that it's an E minor add 9. Which is actually a very common chord. But the intro itself is actually in E suspended second. So what we're doing is I'm actually alternating between E suspended second and E minor by playing B, E, and F sharp on the 9th and 7th frets. I'm just putting my middle finger on the G note right above F sharp. So it's E suspended second, then I'm moving my middle finger in. And I'm not even lifting the finger that's on F sharp. I'm only placing down my middle finger on the G note so I can alternate back and forth easier. So it's E suspended second and E minor. And then what I'm doing is I'm going down to D suspended second. And I'm doing the same thing there. I'm alternating between the E on the 5th fret second string and the F on the 6th fret second string. And I'm really not even taking my index finger off the E. So we're doing E suspended second, and E minor, and then we're doing D suspended second and D minor. So here's what it looks like. And then it does actually start in E minor add 9, which is the first chord most people show for this song. And all I'm doing is taking an E minor chord and I'm adding F sharp to it, which is going to be the 9th interval because it's a stacked interval. And it's just an E minor, but the second E on the 4th string is moved down to F sharp. So we're playing an E minor chord, but we're just adding F sharp. We're not even doing the second E, which is very common when you have a repeating root note or any kind of repeating note. We just turn it into something else. It becomes something else and still serves its purpose. So once you know all that, you can play this full song the entire way through. E minor at 9. Hey you, out there in the cold, getting lonely, getting old, can you help me? Hey you, with your ear against the wall, waiting for someone to call out, would you help me? E minor. Hey you, don't tell me there's no hope at all. Together we stand, divided we fall. And again, I mentioned earlier, B minor, A minor. I mentioned that in the 11 Chords You Must Learn video, and that's it's one of the reasons why is because, especially if you want to play Pink Floyd, you're going to want to learn B minor because they use it in Hey You and they use it in Time and all sorts of different other songs. And if you start in B minor, can just move, just slide it down to the first position, the open position for A minor, and you can just do it like that, and then it goes straight straight back in. D suspended second, D minor. And even though I didn't get the words all right, it's just an example of how to play that intro, how it switches seamlessly from E suspended second to E minor. When I was a kid, I used to struggle and think before you could really learn to look things up online and try to figure out how he was doing that until I watched somebody play it. And then I was like, well, that song's not actually in E minor. It's actually, the intro is actually an E suspended second, switching from E suspended second to E minor, and then from D suspended second to D minor with one finger. That's all I'm doing.